What's happening, people? What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. You already know what it is. Big up to everyone locked in. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe as well if you are new here. What's happening in the world of transfers? Obviously, aside from the fact that Man United finally get the BRYAN MBEUMO, here we go. I feel like we've been waiting an absolute lifetime to get that over the line. And in the end, what happened? Well, Manchester United have paid 70 million. Exactly what Brentford have wanted, a total package. They've actually exceeded the 70 million and they're paying 71 million. So yesterday it was reported that United made their third bid. David Ornstein confirming it was 65 plus 5. And then David Ornstein confirms today that Brentford have accepted it and it's gone from 65 plus 5 to 65 plus 6. Takes the total package to 71 million. And the biggest part of it all, probably what has been holding this up, has been the payment plan. Manchester United, from a cash perspective, and I always tell you lot, guys, in business, cash is king. It's always good to have cash at your disposal. Manchester United, since Ineos has come in, have been, negotiating transfers or trying to negotiate transfers with a payment plan. Not necessarily always the best course of action, but when you are a business that have struggled financially and with cash as well, because, previous directors had spent or had paid for transfers fully up front. Now Man United find themselves in a place where they got to be doing payment plans. And I think that might have been one of the things that has been holding up this transfer. Now it's been confirmed Man United will be paying 65 million across 4 years. Now, it's actually quite slightly different because Joshua Zirkzee's deal was agreed over 3 years. Matheus Cunha was agreed over 3 years as well. But to get 4-year payment plan out, maybe that is what the holdup has been. I'm sure, Manchester United have the right people in place from a commercial perspective to understand financially the implications of paying a 65 million transfer fee, over 3 years versus paying it over 4 years. But the most important thing is that it's done. I think that is the most important thing. I dropped a reaction video immediately after the news came out. So if you haven't checked that out, be sure to check that out. Be sure to hit the like button as well. But obviously, we're going to spend some time talking about that BRYAN MBEUMO. Here we go. Will he be available for tomorrow's game against Leeds? No, he won't. But he is going to get authorization to travel for his medical. And he's expected to be on that flight to America as Manchester United depart next week for their US preseason tour. So the big part of the preseason tour, he will be there. And anybody that is finding a way to be negative about this signing, please, guys, let's just leave it. This ain't the time for it. Like, this is not the time for it, honestly speaking. Because yes, I guess Man United, my biggest fear with the BRYAN MBEUMO transfer was if Man United walked away from it. But eventually they gave Brentford what they wanted, and clearly maybe that was always the plan. It was just about how they were going to pay. Maybe that was where the big negotiations was coming in from. But be optimistic about this signing. It's not going to fix Manchester United completely. Him and Matheus Cunha are not going to be the complete fixers for the shit show that is happening at Old Trafford, or that has been happening at Old Trafford. But they will definitely improve it. And I know for a fact, if BRYAN MBEUMO comes to Manchester United and underachieves, if Matheus Cunha comes to Manchester United and underachieves, I'm questioning the environment. I'm questioning Manchester United and I'm questioning the environment. We've been questioning it when you see players go out on loan and perform well. We've already known the environment issue at Manchester United, the culture issue at Manchester United. But my expectations for BRYAN MBEUMO and Matheus Cunha is quite high, if I'm being honest. Not that I expect them immediately to make Manchester United competitive in terms of winning a Premier League, but I think that they are an immediate improvement on anything that Manchester United has. So we're going to talk about that in detail. We're going to talk about Benjamin Sesko, a name that has popped up of recent. I don't know if it's paper talk and I don't know if it's agent talk, because Arsenal was a team that was linked to him quite heavily, and suddenly when Arsenal kind of disappeared from Benjamin Sesko and looked in the direction of Victor Gyökeres, suddenly Benjamin Sesko is being linked to Manchester United. Now, if I'm not wrong, he's got like €100 million price tag. And RB Leipzig or anybody under the Red Bull model are known to sell. Like, that's where they make their money, is developing players and selling them for a big fee. So we're going to talk about Benjamin Sesko. We're going to talk about the newest goalkeeper target for Manchester United. But now with BRYAN MBEUMO, I think the next thing has to be outgoings. We need to get those outgoings going. no pun intended. Make sure you hit the like button, guys. Be sure to subscribe. Daily dose of Mina slightly earlier today because obviously I feel like number one, it's Friday. Number two, if we got news to talk about, I might as well just go live. Do you get it? I felt like there's no point waiting until the usual 4:30 time slot. If we got some news, and we have a lot of news to talk about, I might as well go live. But like I said, if you've been under a rock for the last hour or so, Manchester United agree a deal worth up to £71 million for BRYAN MBEUMO. I've seen, by the way, guys, I've seen people reporting this in USD. Firstly, we live in the UK. Why the hell are you using dollars? Why are you using dollars to post or to speak about transfers? It makes no sense. We do not live in America, and we don't live in a country where the currency is dollars. Even using euros, sometimes I'm a bit skeptical, and I always try to translate it or convert it, into GBP. The Athletic used dollars a bit because obviously the Athletic is owned by the New York Times, so it's an American outlet. But Manchester United agree a deal worth up to £71 million for BRYAN MBEUMO. And this is coming from David Ornstein about an hour ago. Manchester United have reached an agreement about bloody time, because I feel like this has been forever. But Manchester United have reached an agreement with Brentford to sign forward BRYAN MBEUMO, a deal worth of £71 million. Here you go. You see the dollars again, $95 million. Damn, has been struck, and it compromises of 65 million base fee, expected to be paid over 4 installments, plus a maximum of 6 million in bonuses. Now it's been reported that by other journalists that BRYAN MBEUMO was a key factor in getting this move done. He was very adamant on joining Manchester United, and even David Ornstein confirms that MBEUMO prioritized United over all the other clubs if he was to leave Brentford, and now his transfer is in the process of being finalized. Now they've been pretty clear on their stance. This part here, I think they've been pretty clear on it throughout the entire saga. I remember when we were first linked to BRYAN MBEUMO, and there was a reporter, I can't remember his name, but there was a reporter on Twitter that said that Brentford are holding and will not sell for anything less than 70 million. They will not sell for any. And I remember everybody laughing it off and saying, nah, that's not going to happen. But I think Brentford have stayed very, very firm in what they have been expecting for BRYAN MBEUMO. Duncan Castles, yeah, there you go. It was Duncan Castles that said it on Twitter. Now Brentford have been looking to obtain a fee that exceeds the 62.5 million, that Manchester United paid Wolves for signing Matheus Cunha. United's initial proposal. So just for some timeline purposes, guys, we went from 45 plus 10, which makes it a 55 million package. Then we went from that to 55 million plus 7.5, which makes it a 62.5 package. And then we went to 65 million plus 6. So Brentford have hit the jackpot. If I'm being honest, guys, Brentford have made money. They've made bank. Now, of course, they're going to have to go out and replace BRYAN MBEUMO, and they're already looking at Amari Hutchinson as a replacement, and Amari Hutchinson has a release clause, a relegation clause, with Ipswich, where it has to be paid in full, 35 million. So they're looking at him as a replacement. But what I don't get, and I'm seeing this so much, and maybe this is the Man United influence, guys, because I'm seeing a lot of hateration from so many people, even United fans. Even United fans are questioning why Manchester United have spent this amount of money on BRYAN MBEUMO, which I don't think it's an absurd price tag. When you look at what other players have gone for, number one. Number two, you look at his age. Number three, you look at what he's done in across the last number of years in the Premier League. I think number one thing I've said is that he's consistently improved year on year. There's been a consistent growth. Whether at some years it was slow growth, but the consistency has always been there in terms of goals, or chance creations, whether it's assists, all of that stuff. It's been consistent. Number one. Number two, the reason why I'm not mad at him going for 65 million is because I don't expect BRYAN MBEUMO to come in and score 20 goals for Manchester United like he did for Brentford. I expect him to get double digits. I expect him to get 15-ish. But I think it's harsh to expect immediately, bam, 20 goals. Given the fact that he's coming from a system that has worked to his advantages of how he plays. Now, Matheus Cunha and BRYAN MBEUMO combined have scored 35 goals in the Premier League last season. And I mentioned this earlier, but Manchester United had 44 goals in the league. If they get half of that combined, they are already better than what Manchester United have had. They are already better. Yes, they cost a lot more, or even Rasmus Højlund costs more than this guy. And Rasmus Højlund costs actually more than Matheus Cunha. But the point is that they will come in and immediately improve whatever Manchester United are missing. And not even just from a statistical standpoint, not just from what you see on the score sheet, whether it's the goals or the assists, even the attributes that they have that contribute to their ability and the level that they can play at. Man United do not have that. Man United do not have, I will say, bullies on the ball, people that can physically drive through a team, that can dribble, that can get in behind, that can link up well. Matheus Cunha is good at that. BRYAN MBEUMO's ability to strike a ball well, the ability to put a good delivery in. I think it will be a hindrance to his development at Manchester United if Man United do not sign a striker. There's no point signing him and Matheus Cunha and not finding a striker that will feed off well off the two, that will play off well off the two of them. It's as simple as that. He had created multiple chances in the league last season. I think he actually created some of the highest chances in terms of crosses, but just didn't have anyone to consistently get on the end of it. We're signing one. Look at what Fabrizio just tweeted. Fabrizio trying to get one up on David Ornstein right now. Is Fabrizio trying to get one up on David Ornstein? So Fabrizio has just tweeted, Manchester United plan to sign a new striker in the weeks as a main target after BRYAN MBEUMO deal. Outgoings will be key for the budget as Garnacho, Sancho, Rashford, Antony remain among players set to leave. What striker do you guys think we're going to end up with? And we're going to talk about Benjamin Sesko, but you know what? A part of me thinks it's going to be a Prem player. A part of me thinks it will be Jackson. And a part of me thinks it might be Jackson. A part of me thinks it might be Mateta. Thanks for telling us nothing new there, Fabrizio. I'll tell you, Fabrizio he's trying to get one up on Ornstein right now because Ornstein has been coming through with the ammo. Big up to KG with the raid again. Like, I'm so proud of KG. The fact that he knows how to raid people, the fact that he knows how to redirect on YouTube, I'm so proud of him. It's like, you know, when you got your uncle or your auntie that is not really good at technology. They're not really good at technology, and then suddenly they FaceTime you one day because they know how to FaceTime all of a sudden. I'm so proud of KG. I'm really so proud of him. Jackson, Mateta, Watkins, Vlahovic, probably between them four. I definitely think that the Benjamin Sesko talk is out of. I don't think it's legit. Before we continue with this MBEUMO stuff, let's just quickly touch on this Benjamin Sesko stuff. Benjamin Sesko is reportedly opening to join Manchester United, even with the club unable to offer European football next season. I don't know what people see in Benjamin Sesko for Manchester United. I think he's a decent player, but I don't think he's, again, Man United, beggars can't be choosers with what we got up front right now. Beggars cannot be choosers. However, with saying that, I don't think Benjamin Sesko is the gamble that Manchester United should take for their front line, if I'm being honest. It should not be the gamble that they take. Firstly, number one. Number two, he's going to cost you about north of 80 million. One thing about RB Leipzig, guys, they will not budge. The Red Bull model, they do not budge when it comes to selling their players. They literally buy players to develop them and then sell them. If we are going to Leipzig and we are signing a player, in my opinion, let's get Lukeba. He's a centre-back, yes. But that's someone I'm willing to spend 60 million on. I mean, it's not my 60 million to spend, but if I was the Manchester United sporting director and, you know, what's his name has good relationships with the Red Bull model, I will ask for Lukeba, which they probably are going to look for around 60 to 70 million. He might be a centre-back, but he's the next up. He's the next up. Is Benjamin Sesko the next up? I don't think so. I would take Mateta. I would absolutely Mateta playing off of Cunha and MBEUMO. I would be happy with that. I would 100% be happy with that. But let's continue with this BRYAN and MBEUMO news. I don't know how you lot feel, but I feel like a weight is off my shoulder. Like, have you guys ever been like, when I remember when I was in university and I was waiting for my results to come out 2 weeks before graduation? I didn't know if I was graduating or not, but I paid for the cap and gown, I paid for my tickets, I paid for my pictures, I spent like £300 on everything. I can't believe, firstly, you have to pay for all of that stuff at graduation, as if my tuition fees weren't enough. But I remember paying for all of that, and I remember just sitting there waiting for my results to come out. And then that weight off my shoulder that I felt when I saw my results is the same feeling that I felt today when I got the notification about David Ornstein and BRYAN and MBEUMO. And it's crazy for me to equate that to graduating university, because that is one of the biggest highlights of my life. However, just that weight off your shoulders, I was so worried about this deal collapsing. Like, I was so concerned about not only the deal collapsing, but if the deal collapses, who do United go for? Because I remember, we were live yesterday and we were talking about it, and I was saying, guys, who do United even get as an alternative if this deal falls through? And no one could give me straight suggestions of someone that improves what United lack, but also give the goal threat that MBEUMO does. No one could give me that. Then I look at the Premier League and I'm looking at, the only person I could have thought of was Eze. Prem proven, but to me, he doesn't offer the goals that BRYAN and MBEUMO does. And that's what United lack so much, and everyone is being caught up on this price tag, which, listen, the crown is going to be heavy. Like, anyone that comes to Manchester United, the shirt is going to be heavy. Yeah. But when you come in a price tag of this much, 65 million plus 6 in add-ons, you and Cunha, everybody outside of Manchester United will want them to fail. It's very sad, but everybody wants them to fail. They want them to flop at Manchester United so that everyone can laugh at Manchester United about the fee. Everyone can laugh about the amount of time that was spent on the deal, all of that stuff. However, with saying that, BRYAN and MBEUMO, for me, is better than anything that Man United have in that attacking option right now. If I was to take Cunha and MBEUMO and then everything else that United have had over the last 12 months, they exceed all of that. But like I say all the time, guys, we shouldn't use the bar as the mediocre players that Manchester United have had in front of goal. And is there anybody in the chat, because I'm going to read the chat right now, is there anyone in the chat that's not happy with the price tag, with what Man United are paying? Is there anyone not happy? Does anyone think that United have been slightly hoodwinked with a £71 million package? Does anyone think Man United should have just paid that from the beginning? Do you feel like that is a big price tag for a player like BRYAN and MBEUMO? Because I can't lie, I'm looking at everyone else in the Premier League, and I'm looking at Alanga, and I'm looking at, Mohamed Kudus, and I'm looking at, João Pedro, and I'm looking at Gittins, who went to Chelsea, despite the fact he came from the Bundesliga. And I'm looking at those price tags, and I'm thinking, the only thing I think United got hoodwinked was with probably how long it's taken. Because Brentford were always stern on what they wanted. So yeah, it's taken a long time. It's taken nearly 7 weeks from the first bid. But negotiation-wise, I don't think anyone would just go in immediately. I think Ed Woodward would have gone in straight away with 70 million. And BRYAN and MBEUMO would have been a United player by now. But I think also a big part of this move or this transfer is the installments. We're broke, guys. I can't wait to see Manchester United's financial report in September. I can't wait to do a video breaking it down, because you are going to realize just how poor from a cash perspective Manchester United are. And from an accounting perspective, let me just break it down for you lot quickly before I go to the comments. Let's put amortization to the side for a second. Actually, with the amortization, BRYAN and MBEUMO is going to sign 5 years plus 1. It doesn't matter, because the FA rules are you spread your amortized costs across 5 years, regardless of how long the player's contract is. It's maximum 5 years. So that will be the balance sheet cost, i.e. the asset cost on your balance sheet. But on your P&L, where your cash is, where your expenditure is, where the cost of sales, etc. is, Manchester United will be able to split that 65 million across 4 years. which is very beneficial. Had they split it over 2 years from a cash perspective and a PSR perspective, that is the most important thing. It would have hindered Manchester United a lot more. Do I agree with installments? No, I don't. But we live in a world right now where I'm saying cash is king, but we live in a world now that credit is king. Like every business operates on revolving credit to an extent, right? It's just Man United's extent is just far too much. Hopefully Man United will find themselves in a position where they will be able to draw down that debt. And with that, it will be less interest paid. By the way, guys, if you don't know, Manchester United have paid more money in interest on their debt than they have the total debt that they actually accumulated as a result of the Glazer buyout. So when the Glazers brought Manchester United, the amount that they borrowed, I got another delivery, guys, the amount that they borrowed and the amount that they put on Man United's book as debt exceeds, the interest exceeds that. Just let's put that out for a second. What are you saying about Benjamin? Just go in the stream. We haven't spoken about Benjamin yet in detail. We will. We're just talking about BRYAN MBEUMO. Anticipation is MBEUMO will fly with the rest of the MUFC squad to Chicago. Okay, guys, let me open the delivery for a second. Give me 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second. All right, we back, guys. We back. Let me see what you lot are saying in the chat. We haven't spent up to 40 million this window. Yeah, when you look at it like that, you are right. Man United have not spent 40 million from a financial perspective. When you're saying that, it has to be from an accounting perspective, and that is the most important thing when it comes to sustainability with the finance stuff, because it doesn't matter how much the transfer is, but the terms in which you're paying it is the most important thing. I think anybody, would, for example, you buy something on what's it called? What is it called? Like Klarna. You buy stuff on Klarna and ClearPay and all these buy now, pay later schemes. It will be £100. It will cost something. Will cost you £100. You spread it across three years. You're paying £33 every month. Every month you will have more money to yourself, but in the long run, you are still going to pay that £100. I don't really agree with those kind of stuff. Live within your means, but I can say the same to Manchester United. Big up to Pratesh for the super chat. Thank you, Pratesh. Says, unless Glazers decide to take in more investments and give up on equity, we'll always be cash strapped, Mina. 100%. 100%. And that's why I don't fully agree with the idea that redundancies will be the main thing that puts Manchester United in a financial floater from a cash perspective. Redundancies is not going to magically allow Manchester United to have cash in their account. It's not. It's going to save them stuff, but it's not going to magically create cash. The biggest problem for Manchester United, and I've been saying this for so many years, the biggest problem is the debt that they have. And another problem is Man United being listed on the New York Stock Exchange, being listed as a public company on the New York Stock Exchange. Guys, Manchester United, I think they spent $45 million, or they lost $45 million in their accounts because of FX exchange. So if you lot don't know accounting, basically when you're preparing different accounts for your business, and you've got multiple different currencies involved, you have to do like a foreign exchange. You have to have a line for foreign exchange, basically. And Man United operate a lot in USD because they're listed on the New York Stock Exchange. Because the pound to dollar is so bad, it's so bad, they had to report a negative loss on foreign exchange, which is another hindrance for Manchester United's balance sheet, which then leads to, their PSR position. But I totally agree with you, Pratesh. As long as Manchester United have the Glazers and as long as they've got the debt, Man United will struggle with cash. There's no point Man United making a profit every year when they are, reporting or paying interest expenses of 50, 60 million. Like, I'm just going to quickly look at Man United's financial accounts quickly, because I just want to see quickly what their interest expense was. So this is from Swiss Ramble. This is 2023. This is Man United's accounts for 2023. Can I see here interest expense? Here you go. So interest that they paid in 2023 was 21 million. The year before that, interest that they paid was 62 million. So that takes your loss from that took Man United's loss or profit or loss before tax and interest from minus 11 million to minus 32 million. This is a hindrance for Manchester United. This line here is a big hindrance for Manchester United. This interest line. And as much as they keep paying interest, they will keep reporting huge losses. And booms to the brokers club in the land. If you want to look at it like that, you can. We need to make it to the Champions League for consecutive seasons and get rid of the massive wages. Once that happens, we'll be better financially for transfers and can have cash. Harvey says, is this a top 6 squad as of now, Mina? I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I do not think that this is a top 6 squad. I don't think you can magically go from being 14th, 15th, signing 2 new players, and suddenly you're a top 6 squad. If you look at all the... by the way, guys, can I say, I think top 6 is going to be quite competitive for years to come. Like, I think long gone are the days of the traditional top 6 being the teams in the top 6. I think long gone are those days. I think you've got Newcastle in there now. I think you'll have Aston Villa in there. I think depending on how Nottingham Forest turn out, I think they might be there. Even, I would say, maybe even Bournemouth to an extent. You know, there's going to be a lot of teams in and around that top 8, top 9 that are going to disrupt the top 6. And Manchester United cannot be one of those teams that just disrupt it. You have to put your foot down in that area and be solidly involved in that area. With saying that, I don't expect United to magically go from being 15th place to top 6 with only 2 new signings. Manchester United, that's my first point. But I can be, just to be devil's advocate on the flip side, Ruben Amorim has to get more out of this team next season. Like, there's no more, I think, excuses on players that can't play the way you want, etc. Ruben Amorim, yes, he's got 2 new signings. He's got 3. If we're counting Patrick Dorgu, he's had 3 signings so far, right? And that might not be everything he needs, but he needs to get more out of the players that he has at his disposal. And this idea and this notion that it is a kind of a free ride for him until he gets all of his players, I don't think that should be the stance that many fans have next season. I don't think so, because a manager is judged on multiple things, but I think also a manager should be judged on his man management. If you cannot directly improve at least 5-6 people in your team, and you cannot directly benefit from their involvement in the way that you play because you've improved them, then it's a bit questionable. It's really a bit questionable. So I don't expect Man United to be a top 6 team based on these signings. But what I do expect is Ruben Amorim to get a lot more out of the team that he has available to him. And I'm talking about the back line. I'm talking about the midfielders. Let's be honest. On paper, Man United should not have been as bad as they were last season, right? I feel like with Erik ten Hag, it was a very up and down. But with Ruben Amorim, we were just consistently bad in the league. And that cannot happen again. I don't think that should be acceptable to happen again, because the idea that you solely have to bring in a full starting 11 or starting 15, 16, or starting 11 plus 5-6 players of the kind of players you need or the kind of players you want, I don't think that should be the right mentality that United fans should be looking at going into the season. With saying that, I do think that Ineos have to sufficiently buy more players. I think they have to sufficiently buy more players, more starters. Like, a lot of these players that we're being linked to, and I know it's just paper talk in the transfer window, but we need starters. The same way, you know, we got Matheus Cunha, we got BRYAN MBEUMO, both of them are starters. We need starters. We need another midfielder, in my opinion. Man United need a new goalkeeper. Can Man United afford to take a risk with a young goalkeeper? We've tried the experience, you know, in Onana. We've tried the experience with Onana. If you haven't seen, Manchester United are linked to Royal Antwerp's goalkeeper, Sene Lammens. Antwerp value him at around 17 million. Now, I'm going to keep it a buck. Guys, I'm going to keep it a $1.50. I knew of him, but I'm not going to sit here and act like I know so much about him. But what I do know, he's a younger goalkeeper. He's a cheaper goalkeeper. But what I've read is that he has potential. Can Man United afford to have a goalkeeper with potential? That's my question to you lot. Can Man United, is that a route that Man United should go down to have potential as a goalkeeper? Let me just quickly, I want to see how tall he is. So for you lot that don't know, he's 23 years old, Belgium goalkeeper, hasn't played for the senior team as of yet. He is 6'4". Damn, he's tall. He's tall, but I'm not gonna act like I watch the Belgian league. That's probably one of the few leagues that I actually don't know anything about. But Man United need a goalkeeper, and if this is the way that they want to go down, I never really brought into the Emi Martinez thing, and I feel like a lot of people only want Emi Martinez because of his personality, because of his hot-headedness, if you want to say that, but also because of the fact that he's proven. I don't know if Manchester United should continue throughout the transfer window to go for solely proven. But my concern is there's not really much cemented links for Manchester United for strikers and for midfielders. Like the reoccurring theme that I've seen pop up outside of BRYAN and MBEUMO, it's been a goalkeeper talk, and it's been here and there striker talk. Ollie Watkins has popped up as conversation. Mateta has popped up. We're seeing Benjamin Sesko right now, but the midfield, I'm seeing nothing. I'm seeing people talking about Richard Rios going for, I think he's going for like 20-something million to Roma potentially. But there's never been any cemented proof that Man United have ever been interested in Richard Rios. I'm talking about this summer transfer window. I know he's a name that's popped up in the past windows as well. I liked what I saw from him at the Club World Cup, but equally with saying that, I think he's better than Ugarte, but I think he's fundamentally similar to Ugarte. And I don't know if that's what Manchester United need. We got nearly 200 people here, so make sure you hit the like button. We're about eight likes off of 100, so let's try and hit 100 likes whilst we can. If you want to join the membership club, guys, you can. It's a pinned comment in the chat. You get your badges, you get your emojis, you get your custom member content. Of course, you get to support the growth of the channel, the ever-growing channel here. As you know, only members get that kind of access. And if you want to support the channel in alternative ways, you can by sending in super chat with your comments, with your questions, with your thoughts, or just to show some love. And as you guys know, we got a super chat goal here on the stream today. So you lot can help me reach that. And it goes a long way because it supports the channel. It supports the output. It supports the quality. And it supports me as well. Wilfred Ndidi isn't a bad option in the CDM. For depth, he's not bad. But also, this ain't 2019. I don't think Man United are in a position right now where they need depth. We need depth because, yes, the departure of Christian Eriksen has created a vacated spot in the midfield in terms of the bench. But I don't think Man United's sole purpose should be signing bench players. I don't think so. Indeed, he would have been a good option for United's bench 5 years ago. Is he a good option for Man United's bench today? I don't think so. I would rather Man United splash out on a midfielder and then promote their academy kids. We got Sekou Kone, we got Toby Collier, we got Kobbie Mainoo. We have multiple midfielders from our academy that I would rather they get the opportunity to be that bench midfielder that comes on in games. And we spend 60 million plus on a midfielder. That's what I would prefer. That's my preference. Now, is that likely to happen? I don't think it's likely because when we've seen all this talk about Man United's transfer targets, and this has been long before even the season ended, we always seem to see it was the same kind of positions that we kept seeing. It was, the attack, it was the midfield, it was the goalkeeper position, and midfield maybe. Centre back wasn't really a position that popped up either. And that's why I don't really have a lot of hopes. Belabor 2026. Brighton is not going to be an easy team to sell for. You lot know where I stand with midfield. Go and sign Lamine Kamara. Number one. Number two, if you're going to Aston Villa to sign someone, sign Onana. Sign people that don't have to maybe adapt to the Premier League. I also think maybe because of MBEUMO and Cunha coming in. I think the two of them coming in, maybe Man United don't need a kind of a midfielder that drives with the ball. Maybe they don't need that because they have MBEUMO and Cunha now to be able to drop deep and do that. I think maybe they need someone that's good on the ball. Maybe they need a maestro. You know, we haven't had a maestro in a while. Maybe they need a maestro type of midfielder that controls the midfield and controls the game and dictates the tempo of the game for Manchester United. You look across the Prem right now, or even like the top six, everyone's got a midfielder that is physical, that is strong, that can drive the ball box to box if necessary, one that can shield the back line. Then next to them, they have someone who's good on the ball, but both of them are always good on the ball. Look at Gravenberch and McAllister. Look at Rodri and Reinders. Even now with Arsenal buying Zubimendi and Declan Rice next to him, who else am I missing? Chelsea got, you know, they change who they play in midfield, but you know, Caicedo and Enzo sometimes in that midfield partnership. We need that one guy who's great on the ball, but we need a guy that is the engine of the midfield, but is also good on the ball. And that is why I don't buy into this idea of just having people that are destroyers in midfield. If you only have destroyers in midfield, I'm sorry, you ain't got a midfield. That's a defense. You shouldn't be a midfielder. Like I say this all the time, you shouldn't be a midfielder if you can't pass, if you're not good on the ball. Whether or not that's the quality you excel in, then go be a right back or go be a left back. It's the same way with, you know, when I criticize Onana and his shot stopping ability. You know, as a goalkeeper, your priority should always be to stop shots. Playing out from the back and being good at your feet, that's the modern way of football. But I will always take a shot stopping goalkeeper over a ball playing goalkeeper all the time. Wharton is what is needed. I don't think any of the midfielders in the Premier League that people want, Wharton, Baleba, even Onana, I don't think any of them will come at a cheap price. They won't come at a cheap price. And I don't think Man United are actually looking at a midfielder. Genuinely speaking, I'm not saying that I got any insider knowledge. I just don't see it being a thing because I think they look at, you know, I think if United do sign a midfielder, I think we end up signing a midfielder for depth purposes. I don't think we sign a star. I think we're going to have Bruno either playing as a midfielder, or depending if we don't get a striker or not, we might see Bruno in the 10 with, you know, someone like Cunha as a 9. But I think we'll see Kobe. I think Man United are probably looking at Kobe, Ugarte, Collier, and they're probably thinking, we probably don't need to spend big on a midfielder. That's just my opinion. Bring up to True Legion says, Mina, I feel like we paid a little bit United tax on this transfer, but I think the world know now Man United is fighting the tax. Are we really fighting the tax if we paid what they wanted? I think United personally was always going to pay what Brentford wanted. The same way they were always going to pay that release clause for Matheus Cunha. I think they were always going to pay what was wanted, but I think it was just whether it's on what's it called, the terms of the deal. I think it's just the terms of the deal that's always been the most important thing. It sounded like at the beginning Brentford I think were always comfortable they were going to get the 70. So I think that kind of puts into perspective for us maybe what has been happening behind closed doors. I don't know what could have possibly taken 7 weeks, but also I don't anticipate United immediately going in with a 70 million bid. You've got to start at the bottom and let it kind of build up if necessary. But I think another important thing probably was those payment terms. United maybe were happy to pay 65 million base fee, but it's how they're going to pay that 65 million base fee. And if they have to pay slightly more in add-ons so that they can get more years for installments, then I think that is the case. Mina, you sound different. Do I sound different, guys? Is it because I'm sitting far away? It's because I've been talking too much yesterday. I did a 3-hour and a bit watch along for the England women's game, and I was so like talked out by the end of it. I couldn't talk anymore. I was literally silent for the rest of the night. Kone is our belabor. You know what, Cedinho. I agree. I'm looking forward to Sekou Kone. Personally, I don't want Sekou Kone to go. Did you say Manu Kone? I thought you were talking about. Sorry, I thought you were talking about Sekou Kone. Personally, I don't want Sekou Kone to go out on loan to Lausanne. I think their name is the Swiss team that is owned by Ineos. I would rather he goes Championship. I think Championship is better for him for development and for first team football and just for experience. And it's probably more closer to what you will get in the Premier League for physicality. Look at all of United's players that have gone out on loan in the Championship, and look at their players who have gone out on loan to like League One or League Two, etc. And just over the last number of years, I've seen people go to like Bolton Wanderers and Forest Green Rovers, and they're in like League One and League Two. And then you look at the people who went to, you know, QPR and Birmingham City and Sunderland and Preston North End. Those are the players that adapted better to first team football, to wherever they ended up, you know, going on a permanent, than the ones who ended up going getting released by Manchester United or being sold for peanuts. I personally would rather Sekou Kone goes on loan to somewhere. Like if Michael Carrick was still the coach at Middlesbrough, I would say send him to Middlesbrough. I would say send him to Middlesbrough, let him develop. I wouldn't mind him at QPR as well. I think QPR is a good place for development. I like the way what was his name? The right back. Damn, I forgot what his name was. But there was a right back of ours from the academy that went on loan there a couple of seasons ago. And up until he got injured in February, he was doing very, very well with QPR. Ethan Laird. Yes, Ethan Laird. Yes, Ethan Laird. There you go. So I like his loan spell. I think QPR. So for me, Championship is a good destination. Sekou Kone, for me, though, the only thing that he would need in terms of his development, the main thing probably is just adapting to football here. That's it. That's really it. If Ineos get Baleba, I'll leave them for 2 years. You guys think, and I will happily come back to this stream to be proved wrong, but you actually think they are going to go and spend 80, 90 million on Carlos Baleba? Did you not see Jim Ratcliffe's interview when he first took over? I don't want to buy Kylian Mbappe. I want to find the next Kylian Mbappe. They don't want to buy Carlos Baleba. They want to find the next Carlos Baleba. I don't see it happening. And one thing about Brighton, guys, they will sell good with their players. Like they churn out 70, 60 million players casually. Like a player that I would love to see. There's 2 players I love to see that play in Sweden, yeah? Some kid called Bilal Hussein and another guy called Taha Ali. They just scream to me like Brentford signings. I would love to see them go to Brentford because then finally we can have a Somali in the Premier League. Loan Toby and Maino sub Kone. Loan Toby, Maino sub Kone. No, what? Loan Toby and Maino sub Kone. Sell everybody else. What? You're saying send Maino on loan? Oh, we got an update, guys. We got an update from David Ornstein. And yes, guys, yes, I have my post notifications on for David Ornstein. I'm shameless, guys. I turn it off when the transfer window ends, but I only have it on for the summer transfer window. I don't have it on in January transfer window. BRYAN MBEUMO expected to undergo his medical this weekend ahead of completing a transfer from Brentford to Man United. Obviously, we know about the agreement reached, so we know he's getting his medical. People are saying, I think I was watching KG's channel. I think it was KG's channel that I was watching, and someone was saying, why is he not joining them for preseason? I was thinking, bro, what? You're asking why is he not available to play Leeds tomorrow? My friend, how quick do you think medicals happen? I saw a video of how medicals happen, by the way, guys. I didn't realize it was that detailed. I thought they just come and take your blood test and measure your foot and measure your height and check your weight and any medical conditions. That's it. I didn't realize. I'm seeing guys with things attached to them running on a treadmill, etc., etc. I did not realize how much goes into medicals. But there you go. We got some further information on BRYAN MBEUMO. I guess we'll get an announcement next week. I think we'll get an announcement next. Yeah, I'm predicting an announcement next week, but we shouldn't predict too much because we've been predicting every week saying MBEUMO, here we go this week, MBEUMO, here we go this week, MBEUMO, here we go this week. And eventually we got the here we go. Now, I can't believe this is Man United's basically team. This is going to be predominantly this is going to be our attack next season. MUFC says, what are your expectations for goals and assists? This is a perfect picture for us to kind of visualize it. What are you guys? Is it these 3 guys here? These 3 guys here. How much combined are we talking GA? How much combined GA? Are we saying like, am I wild to say 60 GA is crazy? Because I don't think 60 GA is crazy given the fact that, Well, if we're talking all comps, let's talk Prem. Let's talk Premier League, because what the hell, we ain't in any other competition except for the flipping FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. In the Premier League, combined GA between the three of them. What about the 9? The only reason why I've not included the 9 is because I genuinely don't know who's going to be number 9 for us next year. I don't know if it's going to be Zirkzee. I don't know if it's going to be Højlund. I don't know if we're going to have another 9. But between these three, if I will be honest, if I can get double-digit goals from Cunha and MBEUMO, I'm happy with that. Double-digit, I'm talking like 15-ish. If I could get 15-ish goals from each of them, I'll be happy with that. Because that is already more than what anybody has done at Manchester United. And also, that is consistent in what they've done the year before that. I think it's unrealistic to expect BRYAN MBEUMO to come in and score 20-plus goals for Manchester United. I think that's relatively unrealistic. But if I was to say 15 between him, 15 between Cunha, I think Bruno will be on penalty duty. I don't know if him and Cunha are going to scrap over penalties, but I anticipate that Bruno will be on penalty duty. And I think Bruno can get about 15 goals as well. And in terms of creating, I actually hope that they all create equally for each other. Mina, do you think MBEUMO is better than Wirtz? No. What the hell? What? Where's this coming from? They're two different players. Florian Wirtz and BRYAN MBEUMO are two different players. 43 goals combined, 25 assists combined. That is such a specific number from Ridwan. No, it's not. We pay 60 million. Just do it. I don't think that's the way to look at it. We have 3 of the top 5 best players of last season. This is why, guys, come on. We have the best 3 out of the top 5. I know that I think on statistically, in terms of chance creation, big chances, etc. I know these 2 are in like the top 8. These 3 are in the top 8 for the season, in the Premier League season. I wouldn't go as far to say United have we have 3 of the best 5 players from last season in the league. Statistically, maybe. In terms of chance creation, in terms of big chances, in terms of XG. I'm not really big on the data metrics. I try not to talk about the data metrics too much, but I know that XG is something that people follow quite a bit, and XG kind of gives you an accurate representation of whether that player should be scoring or not. Mina, do you think Amorim will play with a false number 9? If we don't sign a striker, I can see it happening. Hear me out, though, guys. Hear me out. If we don't sign a striker, Cunha as a 9 and Marcus Rashford in the 10. Hear me out, guys. Hear me out. I'll see myself out. Never mind. It's just the part of me just thinks that Rashford's chapter ain't finished. I'll see myself out. Don't worry, guys. Don't worry. I'll see myself out. It's okay. I know that the chapter's done. I know he's leaving, but a part of me doesn't believe he's leaving until I see him leave. A part of me thinks, is it possible? Harry Amas is going out on loan? Damn, I didn't expect that, but it kind of makes sense if they brought in a new left wing back over him. Zirkzee 9. I can see Zirkzee as a 9. I think Zirkzee as a 9 would work with MBEUMO and Cunha because of his ability. I actually think, guys, this might sound like a hot take, but I think Joshua Zirkzee playing as a 9, he will be able to drop in deeper, right? Or drop into that 10 role. And if MBEUMO and Cunha can go and utilize the space that he vacates, Man United are essentially playing with 2 strikers, right? So on paper, we might be starting with 1 striker, but in game, I can see us actually playing with 2 forwards and having, like they swap where Zirkzee drops in and those 2 go forward. I can see that happening. But let's just talk about Harry Amas, because obviously there's some information. Whoa, I've just zoomed in on my screen and I can't see anything all of a sudden. Let me see if I can bring up Harry Amas. Okay, nothing. I can't see. Is it Simon Stone that's saying it? Man United have decided that Harry. Okay, so there's no information about where he's actually going. It's just about the fact that United have decided he's going to go. We do have an update on this guy here. One of the strikers on Manchester United's list is Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins, Nicholas Jackson, Mateta. Guys, there's a common theme here. Premier League experienced strikers. That is, for me, the common theme that we're seeing here. I don't know how I feel about the idea of Ollie Watkins. I feel like Ollie Watkins is another, I would say, another stopgap striker in terms of the fact that it's not longevity. He's not going to give us 6 years. But I also feel like Man United are maybe at a time where they need a striker for now. The minute I turned 20 today, I've reached UNC status. If 20 makes you UNC status, yeah, I don't know what the hell you lot would call me. But happy birthday, my friend. I hope you had a good birthday, or have a good birthday, whatever you're gonna do. Watkins or Sesko. Forget Jackson. I am actually not keen on Sesko. For me, it's between Mateta and Watkins. Like, for me, Mateta is number one. Watkins is a very traditional 9. For me, he's a very traditional number 9, and I don't think he's of the Watkins that he was a couple of seasons ago. He might not have that burst of pace, but he's great. He misses a lot of chances, by the way. He misses a lot of chances, but that's good because that just means that his team create a lot of chances for him. I actually low-key see that as a little bit of a silver lining. Mateta can bully defenders. Watkins cannot do that. Mateta is a physical problem. His height, his stature, his strength, his physicality, his ability. Let's not just talk about those attributes, but his ability as well. He's a problem. Watkins, for me, is a more traditional number 9, where he's not a box bully like Mateta would be, or a strength problem or a physical problem for opponents, but his movement's very good. His movement is very, very good. But I personally, it has to be Mateta. Yeah, here you go. It has to be Mateta. No one else. I agree. Mateta is khalas. Watkins gets more goals and assists. Obviously, this is in a area where we're trying to predict how things turn out for Manchester United in terms of, number one, who they partner Cunha and MBEUMO with. I just feel like Mateta would be the complement to those two. I don't necessarily see the idea with Watkins, or I see the idea, but not to the level of what I think Mateta can offer. Peeps are sleeping on Vlahovic. The only thing I think with Vlahovic and just other strikers like Sesko, etc., I don't think United are at a time where we need players that need time to adapt to the league. I don't think so. Vlahovic, for me, he reminds me of Jovic. Do you guys remember Jovic from Frankfurt that went to Real Madrid? Everyone was going crazy about Jovic before he went to Real Madrid. He went to Real Madrid, fell off. Vlahovic, when I watch Juve, I don't see him as a gunman. Like, when I watch other teams in the Italian league and I watch their strikers, like, I really, really like AC Milan striker that they brought in the summer. What was his name? His name was Santiago Jimenez. They brought him from I think it was the Dutch league, from Feyenoord. I really like him. He's a proper gunman when it comes to being a striker. You look at Inter, they have Thuram, they have La Toro, proper gunman. Even to an extent, I would say Lukaku. Some people might not agree with it, but proper number 9. I don't really see that with Vlahovic. When I have watched Juve, he's been very, very underwhelming. Imagine we still Isak. I just saw a report that Al Hilal won a bid for Isak, which is funny because Al Hilal is a Saudi team who are owned by the PIF, the Saudi Investment Fund, and the PIF own Newcastle. Obviously, I don't think the only way they can probably make him go. The only way I can see they make him go there is by force. I would say it's the only way I see him going there is by force. I would take Mikatadze from Lyon. I would too. I seen Sunderland were linked to him earlier, like a couple of weeks ago, but it's reported that Lyon want to keep him because now they're not getting relegated. Obviously, before they were getting relegated, so they were just getting rid of a lot of people. But now they aren't getting relegated, so they ain't trying to sell him. So we got the 29-man squad that have travelled for Manchester United's pre-season game. Here it is in detail. Look at this. Every time you go to here, they're just advertising things for you to buy. You're just advertising things to buy. So these are this is the full squad traveling for Manchester United's pre-season game tomorrow against Leeds. In goal, no Onana. Onana is not traveling. So Bayinda, Tom Heaton, and Dermot Mee is traveling. I anticipate it will be Bayinda one half, Tom Heaton another half. Defenders, we got Diogo Dalot, Nazir Mazraoui, Matthias De Ligt, Harry Maguire, Patrick Dorgu, Lenny Yoro, Luke Shaw, Aiden Heaven, Diego Leon, Tyler Fredrickson, Reece Monroe, and Goodwill Kukonki. What has happened to Sam Murray? I really liked him last year pre-season. I really liked him last year pre-season. What has happened to Sam Murray? Has he been released by Manchester United? Because I actually thought he was actually he left. Was he released? He says his current club is Manchester United. No, he's at Carlisle United. Wow, he left. He left on a free literally this month. Another player that is traveling but is not listed here is Lisandro Martinez. He's expected to travel with Manchester United throughout the pre-season, but he will not be playing because obviously they don't want to rush him back for his injury. So that is a lot of defenders. But you need a lot of defenders when you play a flipping back five. When you have a back five, of course you have to take flipping 10 defenders. How many defenders? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We can make a starting 11 of defenders. We could actually make a starting 11 of defenders. It's nice for the young players to get some playing time, and also it's obviously important for the players to get some match fitness. Midfielders, Mason Mount, Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes is back already. Bruno Fernandes, Casemiro, Manuel Ugarte, Kobbie Mainoo, Jack Fletcher, Sekou Kone, Toby Collier, Noshir Lacey. And in the forward line, we have Rasmus Højlund, Matheus Cunha, Man United's new signing, Ahmad, Chido Obi, Ethan Williams, and Bendito Mantato. So quite a few forwards there. I think everyone will get some time out in terms of pre-season. Everyone's going to get some opportunity of football. Where's Xerxes? He's out injured reportedly, as is Andre Onana. Both of them are out injured. And obviously, if you have just joined, BRYAN MBEUMO is set to join Manchester United and will have his medical done tomorrow. And then we'll probably join up with Manchester United pretty soon. So that is it, guys. Big up to everyone. Listen, if you've come through, big up to KG with the raid. If you've come through from KG's raid, make sure you guys hit the subscribe, hit the like button. I dropped a video not that long ago for the Here We Go for BRYAN MBEUMO. So make sure you lot check that out as well. If there's any breaking news, obviously, throughout today, tomorrow, etc., you lot know I'll drop a video or I will be live. Big up to everyone that came through, everyone that got involved. 200 people here. Let's get the likes up, guys. Let's try get 160, 175 on your way out. Hit the like button. Is there anyone live that we can redirect to? Let's see. Nuruddin is live. Guys, listen, we're gonna redirect to Nuruddin. When you lot go there, please just do one thing. And just write Ineos in the chat. Just write Ineos. Just spam Ineos in the chat. Just spam Ineos in the chat, guys. Go to Nuruddin's channel and go and spam Ineos in the chat. Big up to all of you lot, guys. I'll catch you lot soon. Obviously, you lot know I will drop a video, like I said, if there's any news between now and tomorrow. If not, I'll catch you lot all tomorrow. I'm out, guys. Have a great Friday. He loves Ineos. Say that. Say Nuruddin loves Ineos in the chat. That's going to trigger him so much. I'm out, guys. Have a good one. Peace.